Hey, I made a video recently about how to teach external rotation of the humerus to a beginner student. I wanted to add some layers of information to that about introducing the idea of scap wrap to a more intermediate or advanced student. This is information that I would be sharing with a student who has enough body awareness and internal connection to be starting to work on details. So you might be wondering, what is scap wrap? Good question. Scap wrap is how the shoulder blades move around your rib cage when they're connected with external rotation of the humerus. Finding this position is going to be putting you in an advantageous position when you're hanging from your arms. Your shoulder blades are going to be nice and supported by all of the muscles around them, and that means that your humerus will be fully supported by all of the muscles around it. Seems pretty important if you're spending a lot of time hanging from your arms, right? Scap wrap is part of this upward rotation of the shoulder blades. If you don't know what glenohumeral scapular rhythm is, go Google it real quick and come right back. I'll wait. Okay, cool. So we've got this relationship between the shoulder blade and the humerus. They need to work together so that the humerus can stay fully connected to the socket on the scapula. My first step in introducing this to somebody is understanding protraction. Protraction is your shoulder blade sliding around the side of your ribs towards the front of your body. This movement comes primarily from your serratus anterior, which is a muscle that sits along here. So we often feel this movement kind of in the armpit. Protraction looks like this. However, I often see people try to protract like this. Did you see how that second movement came more from here and from my back rounding? I'll show you again. And that's a lot different from the first movement that I did, which might look smaller, but is a lot more connected and specific. Here are two quick exercises that I use to help people really dial into their protraction. Try them both. One might make more sense than the other. So for the first one, your arm is going to go straight out from the shoulder, and you're going to take the back of your opposite hand and put it under the back of your straight arm. And then you're gently going to press down. Not like this. Gently. Keeping that gentle press down into your hand, you're going to reach your fingertips forward. And go in and out a few times. As I said before, we're trying to feel this motion happening more from the armpit and the side of the rib cage rather than from the neck and chest. The other exercise I like is this. You're going to take that opposite hand, but now we're going to put it right below your deltoid. And now as you reach forward, you're going to think about trying to scoop around your hand. So for me, when I do these, I start to feel what I call armpit scoop. And what that feels like to me is as I reach forward, there's this sense of my armpit scooping. Almost like my armpit is what's pushing my arm forward, because basically it is. So now we're going to close the chain, and that means holding on to something rigid. I have a fancy Pilates stick. You can use a broom or whatever you happen to have that is going to give you something solid that you can hold on to with your hands maybe slightly wider than shoulder distance apart. I like to do this next part laying down. If you lay down and your ribs like to lift way up like this, then you should grab a pillow to support your head. Because our shoulder blades are attached to our rib cage position while we're doing this is important. So I want to feel the back of my ribs being heavy and connected to the ground, and I need to be able to maintain that position the whole time without the front of my rib cage lifting up like this. I'm going to take my stick and I'm going to hold it with a reverse grip. And I'm going to find that protraction again. You could think about your ribs getting heavier while your shoulder blades are sliding forward. So they're kind of moving in opposite directions. After that protraction is feeling really comfortable, then I'm going to start taking my arms overhead. I'm going to start with the protraction, so that's sliding out, but then I'm going to keep trying to slide out while my arms lift up. Now we're doing this with a reverse grip because it's putting us in external rotation. So I have one less thing to think about while my arms are moving. When I feel either my ribs start to lift up or like my arms really want to turn this way in order for me to go any further, I'm going to stop. So that reverse grip can really help us start to feel and connect to this movement, but it's not super functional for when we're doing stuff in the air. So let's do it again now with a more neutral grip. So now with my palms facing forward, I'm going to reach up and I'm going to externally rotate. So remember, external rotation is this. When I'm holding on to something, it's this. I'm going to find that external rotation and protraction. Let's try that a couple more times. External rotation, protraction. And you might feel your ribs trying to press down into the ground more as you go into protraction. That's great. Feeling it coming from your chest and neck, not so great. Dial the movement back a little bit and connect back into that armpit scoop. So now let's try moving the arms, maintaining these positions. Externally rotate, protract, keep protracting and externally rotating while the arms move. So this is this feeling of reaching the armpits towards each other in front of your face. Protract, externally rotate, and push out as you reach overhead. When I don't maintain the external rotation or protraction, it looks like this. I'm starting good, but then I forget about it. Notice how when I'm here, my elbow is pointed away and my ribs lifted up. I'll show you what the difference is from the front. External rotation and protraction, and maintaining it while my arms lift up. And this is what happens when I forget about it. It looks really different around here. Here's my rotation and that sense of wrapping my scapula around. Look at what this space by my neck looks like. And here's when I forget about it. Way different. Look at the position of my armpit. You can also experiment with these positions using a TheraBand. Do this with a light band, please. So I've got my hands maybe slightly narrower than shoulder distance. I'm going to think about that protraction, and then I'm going to rotate my palms up. When I'm not protracting, it looks like this. My ribs lift and my shoulder blades slide together. So find that, reach forward, and rotate from there. Now let's try it with our arms higher up. Reach out, wrap in. And even higher still, reach out, wrap in. Whew, that's really hard, which means I probably should work on that so that I am stronger in that position when I'm hanging from my arms. I hope this was helpful. Comment below and let me know what you thought or if you have any questions. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Bye.